algae to produce fuel.
The University of Michigan is now getting funding to create a new type of diesel that'll burn cleaner.
That's right, and it's a move that would cut pollution and also help the country meet future energy goals. 7 Action News reporter Matthew Smith is joining us live. And Matt, what's unique about what researchers in Ann Arbor are doing here?
Well, the University of Michigan is really looking at this in a full circle, from the folks who actually work on engines, burn that fuel, to the guys who are in the labs with microscopes and beakers, to those who are even working with the algae. Think about it this way. When they're all said and done, you could actually pop open a car that runs diesel and put in your gas tank what was originally growing in a pond. Sure, it looks like a green mess, but that's algae grown on the U of M campus for a purpose. In a lab, that green algae is turned into what's known as biofuel, something that would take tens of thousands of years for naturally occurring oil.
We could do it on the time scale of 20 minutes instead of millennia.
But what's more amazing than that, this fuel is renewable, and it could solve a real-life problem heading at us faster than the cars the fuel can run. But growing this stuff in a trough is easier than the end goal, giant algae farms.
At the size of a commercial scale pond, they crash. Nature throws weather fronts at you, it throws disease, it throws things that like to eat these algae. So one of the things we're trying to figure out is how do we work with Mother Nature instead of fighting against her to create a pond that can have a more continuous source of algae.
As Professor Cardinal explains, a small farm in a state like Arizona or Hawaii could produce all the biodiesel needed to fuel the U.S. You'd need to convert the entire corn production of our country to do something similar. But why is all this important? Well, it's about fuel emissions. Remember those Volkswagen graveyards in Pontiac last year? That was the fallout of VW cheating emissions standards and putting hundreds of thousands of cars onto our road, polluting the air. In labs like these, they're creating a fuel that the U.S. Department of Energy thinks they can cut emissions by 60%. And what's different in these U of M labs, they're doing the whole production. From farm to lab, the folks burning this stuff in the lab in actual real-life engines.
We'll be able to play with different model fuel mixtures and then give feedback to my colleagues who are going to process the algae into fuel. We have just this fantastic opportunity to make a difference.
At the end of the day, what really matters here is what is coming out of your tailpipe. Emissions are very, very important. We're also talking about global warming and like global scale when we start to talk about this stuff. We're breaking down the whole story, what it means for us at WXYZ.com a little bit later this morning. But for now, it's just cool, guys, to talk about pond algae and it running your vehicle. Very safe way to do it all, too. Again, breaking it down at WXYZ.com. We're in Southfield this morning. I'm Matthew Smith, 7 Action News.